Hello and welcome to Discover NC Homes and Nolan's News. It's Nolan Formulary, and I have Kara Herring with me today. Kara, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Don Bullard Insurance, she has an office, she's the president, has an office down here in Southport and two in Wilmington. And she's here today to talk to us about roofs and the various, I guess, maybe guidelines that are tightening up.
Sure.
And I know from just, in selling real estate, we've had a few companies that have dropped the policy because the age of the roof, or have said, we're going to charge you a whole lot more than we used to because of the age of the roof. So
Sure.
can you fill us in on some of what has changed or what's going on?
Well, you're right. I mean, the guidelines in our coastal market are definitely tightening up. So you want to be cognizant of that when you're buying a new home, perhaps rewriting a policy to a new company. It's going to depend on the company, their particular guidelines, but you always want a newer roof.
Sure.
You want a newer roof. If it's 15 years and younger, that's great.
Okay.
If it's even more than that, that's much better.
Okay.
So as a buyer, you want to find out about that roof.
Okay.
Now, if you've got
the insurance carrier is going to ask.
The insurance carrier is going to ask. And if you get into typically around a 20-year roof, it's tough.
Okay.
It's tough. Not that you can't get it. Architectural shingle roof is better than a composite shingle roof.
Okay.
Metal's good too.
What is the difference just between those two, the architectural versus composite?
Mostly you're going to see architectural. Composite, I think, is a little flatter.
Okay.
But most everybody, and you can see on the tax records, it'll say composite or architectural.
Is that where you guys look?
Yep.
Okay.
We do. We look at the tax records to get tons of information.
Sure.
So if somebody calls for a quote, I'm automatically pulling up the tax records. I'm looking at heated square footage. I'm looking at year built. I'm looking at how big the garage is. I'm looking at, does it have a hip roof? If it has a hip roof, you can get some wind mitigation credits.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So a number of things. But yeah, the roof is a biggie, especially right now. So if you can get a newer roof, even if the home, and you may think, okay, well, the home was built in 2005, surely it's the original roof, but not so.
No, this is true.
I mean, we've had a number of storms. We've had hailstorms where somebody could have had, a new roof replacement. And we've had tornadoes, not particularly here, but we've had the scares, but a little bit further south, we've seen the tornadoes. So always a good question as you're listing a home to ask that, because that's going to give you some really good credits. If you tell me, okay, I've got this house was built in 2005, but the roof was put on 2019. I'm going great. That's great. Now, again, not that we won't be able to place it with a company. We're an independent agent, so we've got a ton of companies that we can write with.
Okay.
But our markets open up with that newer roof.
Okay.
Other things that might be changing right now depending on the company, it's going to be that wind and hail or named storm deductibles. Some of the companies are going to from that 1% to a 2%. And you're going to see that in Florida. I mean, that's the norm. The 2% is the norm on the coast.
So if it's a named storm, it's going to be more expensive?
It could be.
Okay.
It could be.
Wow.
So, and some companies, again, are looking to lessen their risk.
Okay.
So they may do an amendment to your policy. So you may see that it's going from a 1% deductible to a 2% deductible.
Okay.
Now, there are other companies that may offer that 1%, so then maybe you want to look at shopping that around.
Sure.
Another thing that with some companies, going back to the age of the roof, they may still write it if it's an older roof, but they may do what's called ACV, which is going to be actual cash value.
Okay.
So in the event of a claim, they're going to pay a depreciated value.
Oh, okay.
So they're going to replace, let's say, that 15-year-old roof.
Yeah.
Versus replacement value, which most policies have on them, what it actually costs to replace it.
So they'll deduct 15 years of life essentially from that. Okay.
Right.
So that could be
So
substantial.
things to be looking for, and
Sure.
things that may possibly be changing with certain companies.
Okay. As we're insured with you, do you let the end user know? Like
Yes.
if that policy change is happening, you would let me know?
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely. So the carrier, so the actual company that you're written with, does have to send you notification of that.
Okay.
So you would see that in your renewal. So don't just get that and go, oh well, my mortgage company, it's escrowed. Don't even look at it.
Sure.
Look at it.
Okay.
Because it'll say in bold print if there's any changes.
Okay.
Now also your agent should let you know as well.
Okay.
We make sure that we let everybody know, especially in cases like that where your deductible's changing significantly. Yeah. Or you're going from the replacement value to the actual cash value. I would want to know that.
Yeah, heck yeah, me too.
So I feel like we're liable as the agent to let you know that too. So you should get something from the actual company and then something from your agent. At least that's our procedure.
Okay. Well, very enlightening, because I again, there have been a lot of changes that have been made. So
yeah.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Kara, appreciate it. Thank you for coming.